This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Burke, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Recording has started. Happy New Year! And welcome once again to Super Connectivity. Yay! I'm your host, Charlie, the Professor Esser, and with me, as always, is the blue-eyed bomber from the Burg of Pitts.
Phil, me, and Parrish.
It's confetti, yay! Hey, Philip, welcome once again to Super Connectivity. Oh my goodness, such a fun new year, 2021. We are recording this the day of, the first day of the new year, Philip. I'm wearing my fancy new shirt, a gift from the lovely little Hellfire, who is a good friend of this show and many others. And I am ready to talk all of the wonders of 2020 going into 2021. First thing I want to talk about, because I don't think we've really talked about it much on any show, is the release of Soul.
Yeah.
Now, you and Luca have watched Soul.
Yes, the whole family watched Soul, yes.
Yes, and, one of the things, and I had seen articles on this as well, but this idea of the parallels between the new Wonder Woman, which some people erroneously think is not a good film. I'm not going to say it's a great film. It's not as good as Superman 3, but whatever is. But it's a much better film than the hype gives you. But it's like Back to the Future. You got to watch it more than once to get all of the things that the artist was saying. Which granted, you can't always guarantee that rewatch, but you would hope when you have a character like Wonder Woman, yeah, you're going to get that rewatch. You're going to get at least 2 watches out of it because, there might be something you missed.
Yeah,
that's important.
We're doing the big review tomorrow. Maybe today, after we're done with this, maybe I'll do what you did. Because you watched both Wonder Woman and then the sequel, right?
Actually, I did not do a rewatch of the Wonder Woman first one. I was going to, mostly just because I wanted to double check that Steve Trevor's brother was alive and well in that universe. But I don't see any, and there actually isn't. There is evidence of it in the film. And here's what I will say. I was complaining about there not being a big montage. And I made the joke that, Patty Jenkins took show don't tell too far and forgot to show or tell. But I realized she actually did show. She did show a lot. But you have to put your Matt Pat hat on to sort of go, oh, that's why that's this and that's why that's that. The fact that the photo of her and Etta is in color is an important aspect of, so that actually took place in the 60s when color film was widely available. And so that reframes the situation. There's a photo of a wedding. I don't know if that is the bride in that. I don't know. But you can see that basically there was a whole life lived. And, I think what people have problems with Wonder Woman, and like I said, we'll talk about this more tomorrow, but I think one of the problems they have is that they are thinking about Wonder Woman as a temporal human life. And the thing that you can't think about Wonder Woman as is a temporal human life. Her experience is very much outside of that as an immortal, as a person who has literally been alive for thousands of years. Much like 22 over in Soul. 22, who we are led to imagine is the 22nd soul ever created, which tells you how long she's been up there. And they got like, oh yes, because one of the soul they introduced right before her is Soul 110,573 or something like that. Because there's been a lot of souls. Some go to the great beyond, some come back. And one of the parallels between Soul and Wonder Woman is the idea of a soul occupying another body and what that means in the dynamics. Now, with Soul, there have been criticisms of it as well. Most specifically that, a middle-aged white woman, Tina Fey, takes over the body of our protagonist, Joe. And so at various times, you'll see Joe's face. Sorry, spoilers for Soul if you haven't seen it yet. But we're talking about Soul, and you should know this is always a spoiler podcast. Yeah. But there is this idea that, it's taking away his agency. I don't know how true that is per se, since we never really... whereas, yes... arguably, you can say that every time you have a black protagonist in a Disney film, they have to go through a transformation. Not like there's a large panoply of voices to choose from, because it's basically Princess and the Frog and now Soul. But I think, if nothing else, what you have in this is a really solid African-American cast telling African-American stories. You just have Tina Fey coming into it as sort of the blank slate.
And again, Tina Fey just happened to do the voice. 22 even said, 22 had never been born yet. 22 says, I'm not man, it wasn't male or female. Like, I use she, but, she said, I could sound like, sound like a man. She sounded like,
yeah.
And again, too, I took it as like a kind of a twist on, like, It's a Wonderful Life. It's like, oh, you think your life's horrible? Well, look what everything you have, all the potential and.
Yeah. And well, the whole thing is, and of course, I also love the big twist reveal, which is that the spark isn't your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But you also get the realization that, all of the mentors think that. All the mentors don't understand that. You're not trying to teach this kid to have a purpose. You're just getting them to want to live a life.
Well, because all the mentors were like experts in their field, weren't they? So it's like, their spark led to like greatness. So it's like, oh yeah, of course the spark is, your whole sense of being and stuff.
Well, but that's the thing, is the suggestion is that actually, no, the spark isn't that. That,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
Joe came to music, but music wasn't necessarily his spark. That wasn't the thing that got him there. It might have been. And I think there is a hint to this when, this is for those of you who are writing down your Pixar theory notes, when 22 first tastes pizza, and we see immediately an emotional spectrum come into existence. Now, to me, that's her spark. That is the moment. Her spark was pizza. Which really means that, gee, man, if we could just let kids eat pizza, maybe it wouldn't be so hard to help them find sparks. But that's what you see, because you see her separate off into the emotional spectrum. You see red and yellow at the far ends, and I do think that is what that is meant to be, is that's when she gets her spark. Her spark was pizza. Unfortunately, she's going to China, so...
Did they say she's going to China?
Well, that's so if you watch it at the end, she's clearly the Earth. Yeah, she's headed towards Asia as she's jumping through the hole. So she could go to Japan. They have pizza in Japan. They have weird pizza in Japan, but that's Japan. They like their interesting food combinations.
That's the one thing I wanted to see at the end, is her being born. To whoever, wherever, but I just wanted to see her being born.
No, and I see that, and I understand that. I think what they wanted to make sure that it was as open-ended as possible.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I mean, the second I saw her going to Asia, it's like, oh man, I hope she's not born as an untouchable in Bombay. I'm sorry, Mumbai. I hope that she doesn't. Oh great, she was born in North Korea. That's the story that we're telling now. Then it gets to be a much sadder Pixar film. But of course, millions of people every day are. Well, I don't know how many people are born in North Korea every day, but a lot of them, and I'm sure a lot of sparks did not did not think that was where they were winding up. But then again, it's not like being born in America is that great shakes either if you don't get born in the right family. Which is the thing. It's like it's all family, you know? That's the honestly, you gotta wonder. You kind of feel like the youth seminar or the Great Before kind of is soft selling life, which, you know, and I think that's a problem for a cynical soul like 22, because, you know, she knows they're soft selling it. She knows that, yeah, I might be able to eat pizza if I become born, but even that, quite frankly, I may not want to. I may not be able to live in a world that has pizza, because they may not have pizza in North Korea. It may be a thing that, you know, or this no one's going to eat it because, you know, that's not what we eat in this part of the world. You know, could be stuck eating freaking fish sauce and rice, you know, which is good. Don't get me wrong. I like it. It's delicious, but it's not pizza. It's not New York pizza. Yeah. So I did do a rewatch of Soul today, because I did want to see, you know, what I missed, and there wasn't much I missed. I mean, here's what I will say: Soul is a movie written for kids.
Yeah.
So everything is pretty much set up for you. Patty Jenkins, she told a story of she told a much more complex story about human relationships, that you got to pick up on the clues to see. In Soul, but like I said, what they do have in common is they do have this idea of someone taking over another person's body. And similarly, what I will say about Wonder Woman is that I feel that they're following quantum leap rules. Which means that, yes, when Steve looks in the mirror, he sees the aura of the body around him. But that actually is him.
I thought it was he was actually in the body, and everyone saw that body except Diana, because, you know, she's in love with him or whatever.
No. See, but that I think is the difference. You see, So there's two theories on this. My theory is that that actually is him. That he is this guy. He is reincarnated. That is my headcanon. They give you hints at it. They even call out reincarnation as a method of gaining knowledge, because the guru they meet, you know, he actually says, well, most of my knowledge comes from past lives. Which, again, when we get into Soul, we again see this idea of this full life being led outside of that existence when we go into that astral plane. I
mean, Steve mentioned something, you know, when they're walking about he can't remember the details, but he remembered being somewhere else. So I just took that as he was dead and in the afterlife, and he got yanked out of heaven.
But the thing is, that's an assumption.
Yeah, true.
That's the assumption that you're left with, and it could be like that poor cat who wound up in, you know, when Joe jumps into the cat's body, the cat gets pushed out, which is kind of weird. So it's like, is that cat dead now? Except we do see at the end the cat does come back.
Yeah,
because, you know, that's why they got 9 lives. For me, I thought they were trying to say that cats have no souls, but no, the cat soul was there, was going to the great beyond, and then, you know, just wandered back because it's a cat. Cats. But as it is, the idea of who you are being your soul or who you are being your body is a question that kind of comes into this. Now, in my own headcanon, it's the same soul. It's that soul in that body in Wonder Woman, and it's in the same way that it's 22 in Joe's body. And we can accept that in a sense. We can accept the idea of whatever 22 is doing in Joe's body, it is 22 doing it, not Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Though Joe does have to live with whatever consequences there are. Though at the same time, what consequences there are immense. I really liked Soul as a film. I think that as a film, it brings something to the forefront that I don't think a lot of people think about. Which is this idea of, what it means to be alive, and what it means to be within a life that you've created, especially when that life isn't what you necessarily want. And let's face it, none of us have the life we want. Sadly, even people that have a life you might envy probably want something else. You have people like Maxwell Lord who simply want more. Like our former president. I know he's still technically the president, but here's hoping. Like, no matter what they're given, they want more. They want something, because they're trying to fill a hole that can never be filled, and that leads you to become a lost soul. And that is the idea. And of course, when 22, having been briefly alive, now becoming a lost soul, because all of the weight, because she has now experienced an emotional spectrum. And that's that for those of you taking notes for the Pixar theory. She has experienced an emotional spectrum. She now is a full being. That's when you get to go be born, is once you become a full being. But because she has experienced a full emotional spectrum, now she can be weighted down by her thoughts of failure and sorrow and rejection from people. Which is sad. Because Tina Fey is such a sweet girl. And at least I assume. I've only seen her in movies. But
she was good, because like for most of that movie, I'm like, I know that voice is familiar, but I don't recognize who that is. And then I found out it was Tina Fey. I was like, oh yeah.
Oh man, I didn't recognize anyone's voice in this, honestly. They were all, and I don't even know who John Ratzenberger was. Is he still alive? He's not dead, is he?
No, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he's got to be in there somewhere, but I think I missed him. But I will say, I love Felicia Rashad.
Yes.
Yes, that's, we may not be able to talk about her her TV husband, but America still has a mom, and her name is Felicia Rashad. It's great. We should just call that the Felicia Rashad show now, and then we can watch it and enjoy it again. But no, and I do think that that's an important thing, because there is a very strong aspect of this. What it really is about is, which I think is the whole important aspect of the Lost Souls, is that Joe himself is a lost soul.
Mm-hmm.
That he has become so monomaniacally obsessed with this dream that he can't be really at peace. Because of course, once he achieves his dream, even, that's when he realizes that, I did my dream, He said he could die a happy man once he played on stage with her. And then all of a sudden he's like, nothing really changed. That was just one more thing in my life.
This is weird. I mean, I was looking up the cast. Yeah, I was wanting to see who John Ratzenberger was. It's not credited. It just says voice uncredited.
Oh, okay. So he's in there somewhere.
Like maybe he did some background, like some background.
Yeah, he was probably one of the maybe he was the voice of the cat. I don't know.
Neighborhood people, something. Yeah.
Maybe he was the sociopath soul, which I loved. I about how flippant the Jerrys were about the souls. It's like, maybe we shouldn't put so many in the self-absorbed pavilion. And I'm a narcissistic sociopath with delusions of grandeur. Like, oh, he sounds like he's going to be a handful. Also, I love the fact that, all the Jerrys are, I'm guessing, New Zealanders. Maybe they're Australians. I don't know. I can't tell the difference between an Australian accent and a New Zealand accent and a Tasmanian accent. I'm sorry, Ray. We can't all know the difference. I'm sure Ray could. You think that's a New Zealand accent? Those were clearly Tasmanians. How dare you, sir? How dare you insult me? Yeah, it's an interesting film. I highly recommend people watch it. But the idea that Joe is a lost soul, and probably was always a lost soul until he gets his eyes opened by seeing someone experience life for the first time. And seeing that life is so much more than your monomaniacal obsession. And that is really what it is about. And again, what Wonder Woman is about. It's more than your monomaniacal obsession. It is more than your need to achieve a thing or to believe or to think something is your goal. The purpose of life is to live. That's the meaning of life. Get through it. Enjoy it. Have a slice of pizza. Walk. Watch the sky.
Be there for a friend.
You can do that too.
Like 22 was there for Joe, and or Joe.
Yeah. Okay. And Joe was there for 22 at the end, and Joe had to face the pain he caused.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like, when you get the idea of all of these historically great people. Sad we didn't get a Jack Kirby cameo, but that would have been nice because we see that his name's on the wall. Although it's also interesting that apparently that the mentors only get like 22 minutes.
I know.
To inspire you. It's like, really? That was supposed to be it? Yeah, if you can't do it. But then again, I guess time is an interesting abstraction for Jerry's, It's like they're and just to talk about the animation, the idea that the Jerrys are two-dimensional beings, because that's what we can perceive them as. Yeah. They're like Paper Mario. It's like they can turn sideways, but they're still two-dimensional. I love that. And just the idea of these beings that are not within our realm, but that are somehow charged with taking care of us. Really makes you feel important,
Mm-hmm.
Also, interestingly enough, apparently there are not aliens in the Pixar universe. Because they're all going to Earth.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, arguably, they could have had planets opening anywhere. She could have been being born on Mars, or, Alpha Centauri 7, or whatever that planet would be called. So apparently, one planet in the Pixar universe with life, which fits into the WALL-E theory, because clearly if there were a bunch of other aliens, the Axiom would have ran into them. Because they clearly had FTL travel, they could go anywhere. That there is just this little ship of humans tells you that, yeah, that's all there is, kids. It's a bunch of big nothingness. But the things that are something really are kind of special. And that's the moral of Soul, and probably the moral of Wonder Woman as well. There are gods and there are humans, although we're going to talk about this tomorrow when we get to the Wonder Woman review. I think Patty Jenkins really set up something interesting if you want to do the legwork for it, where there is theories and ideas and this magical universe that Patty Jenkins is creating. And it's not just her who's creating it, because it kind of leapfrogs from Wonder Woman and Shazam, and this idea of not being the science universe but the magic universe.
Mm-hmm.
to differentiate it, which is, gee, I wonder who suggested that in the past. Here in the DC extended universe. And, you know, like I said, I actually, upon further watching it, I liked the Wonder Woman. Like, watching it more than once and looking for the answers to the questions I had. That's what I will say. If you have questions, if you felt like, oh, I didn't quite understand why they did that, watch it again. They may answer that question. You go, oh, that's why that's that way. That's why she goes to Trevor Ranch. That's why Trevor Ranch is a black and white picture and it is a color picture. And that's why they go back and show that Trevor Ranch picture more than once to show that. And you know, like I said, I think Patty got into like, well, what would it be to be an immortal being and then live among mortals? Because what does it mean for an Amazon to fall in love? Because I'm sure Amazon's had love, but then it's love for 1,000 years. And to fall in love and have that love taken away, you know, you can say, why are you sitting around on your butt for 20 years obsessed about this woman, or 40 years, or 60 years at this point? It's like, well, you know, first off, 60 years is a blink of an eye for her. And, you know, Amazon's usually just fall in love once. But we'll get my full review and everybody else's opinions about why they are wrong tomorrow on Capes and Lunatics, super spectacular, first of the new year, Wonder Woman special. That is a Capes and Lunatics special, correct?
Yeah, it's an episode. Yeah, episode 190. So yes, check that out.
So look for it, kids. You'll enjoy it. Okay, you want to talk comics, Phil?
Yes, I even read Werewolf by Night and Shang-Chi.
Oh, cool. Because I read those too. I also read Avengers, and I read the Spider-Man book. Yeah, that's totally the guy I say it is, man. That's, although I think maybe Harry thinks, like I said, I think I get the like when. So let's talk about that book first. Let's get that out of the way.
All right, Amazing Spider-Man 55, which I think it's just for the cover. These are already going online for like $25 or something.
Okay, they do know they sell them at the comic book stores for like $5, right?
I know. Well, $3.99.
It's like $4, yeah. You know, plus tax, and you want to give a nice tip. You know, always tip your comic book store guy.
I'm like, nothing happened inside. You know, it's like, is it just because it's a black cover? Because you know those ones, you know, you can tell more of the wear and tear on the spine or something. I don't know.
What I'm going to say is probably it's that this is where nerds in the know really realized that it was going to be that guy from The Evil That Men Do. Because Norman comes and is like, you know, it's stop with the lies. And by the way, the use of the word Europe in this, it's a little heavy-handed. I know Brian Cronin did his great article about going to Europe meaning being dead in the Marvel Universe, or at least the Spider-Man section of it. Read that article. It's over there at CBR under the Comic Should Be Good band banner.
Nobody's out Brian.
Yes. I know sometimes you get mad because he's stealing from us, but here we're stealing from him, or at least Marvel's stealing from him. But you know, then we went to Europe, and then they came back. How many times does Harry Osborn say Europe in this?
I don't know. I
even think he references it to Gwen Stacy once when she's dead.
I'm just, this whole storyline, every issue, it's like, confess what you did. I don't remember what I did. What do you want me to confess to? Confess.
Yeah, and of course, see, that's the thing. And like when Mary Jane comes in at the end, and she's like, you know, he can't tell you what he doesn't know. It almost seems to imply, as people say, oh, maybe Mary Jane knows they sold their marriage to the devil.
Well, yeah, I mean, she whispered to Mephisto or whoever she thought was Mephisto. Was that her thing, saying, yeah, he doesn't remember.
Oh my gosh. What if he never made a deal with Mephisto?
Yeah, what if it was Mary Jane? That's what I said, yeah.
No. What I'm saying is, what if Mephisto really has nothing to do with it?
Oh, yeah.
What if No. Hear me out. You know my crazy fan theory here, and I'm blinking on his name. Clum. Francis Clum. That's his name. Francis Clum. I could be wrong, but what if he actually was already doing the Mysterio bet, presented himself, because he really realized, oh, Aunt May's gonna be just fine. She's, she's got a weak heart, but she's always had a weak heart. She's been in the hospital 10 times.
Oh, she was taught too, but yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, but they stabilize her. This is the freaking Marvel universe. You can have freaking shrapnel in your heart for 20 years, and it's not going to kill you. You're going to tell me a glazing bullet kills Aunt May? No, the guy he's pulling us, and so he creates his little Mephisto story, because he knows, because he's done the research, he knows people know who Mephisto is. He knows that. And he, breaks up their marriage, and then actually somehow tricks Peter into doing the whole thing where he goes to Doctor Strange. I need you to make everyone forget who I was. This guy is playing 8th dimensional chess. That's what I'm saying. There was never a deal with Mephisto, which would be brilliant if Marvel says, actually, no, Peter never made a deal with Mephisto. That's all been Mysterio manipulation the whole time. Woo! I would love that.
What if there was either way? I could see a deal with or without Mephisto, but I mean, they're building up Kingpin here a lot. What if Kingpin get into the supernatural, and the dark arts and whatever?
Well, to be fair, when the Dark Force was engulfing New York City, he certainly had his taste of it. And for what it's worth, this man has been working this beat for a long time.
And during, what was that, Shadowland? I mean, when he was basically running the Hand for a while, I mean, that's all mystical and...
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing about a magical universe in which everyone lives. At a certain point, you're going to have to say, probably lots of people know that magic is a real thing. And people aren't going to be like, oh, magic, there's no such thing as magic. It's like, no, everyone knows that magic is real. There's a guy named Doctor Strange. There was a guy named Dr. Druid in the Avengers, who was a government employee, had an ID card and everything. Yeah, there is a guy named Dr. Doom. Everyone knows Dr. Doom. But, but that's the thing. It's like, at a certain point, it's like you can't keep this stuff a secret.
Oh, yeah.
So, really, they're cloning people over at Empire State University. We've got freaking Masters of the Mystic Arts running left and right. It gets crazy sometimes. And so, it would not surprise me that Fisk knows. But at the same time, it also wouldn't surprise me if Clum reaches out to Fisk to says, here's what we're going to do. I really hate Spider-Man. And again, the personalness of it. That's the thing. And also in that idea of Peter not knowing what he has to apologize for.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me feels like it's not that, oh, you brought him back from the dead or yada, yada, yada. I get the feeling this is, again, just to feed into my fan theory, because I have a fan theory, and I'm going to keep on pushing it until I'm proven wrong, is that he's like, Clum wants him to apologize for killing his brother.
Oh.
And it's like, because he doesn't even understand, like, what did I do to you, Harry? But even Harry's, been driven mad by this, because this guy's been freaking Mysterioing Harry, and that's the smart thing. He went and drove Harry mad first.
Mm-hmm.
He figured out, because that's what Mysterio would do. Mysterio would, before he attacks frontally, he's going to attack from the side. He's going to figure out, okay, how can I set up this shot? How can I create this story? How can I tell this tale? And that's what he did, and that's what we have, and it's pretty awesome. Have a party popper, Tristan. Okay. No, wait. No, here. Hold it like this, and point it away from you. Okay, ready? And say Happy New Year before you do it.
Happy New Year!
You got to pull the string hard. Don't point it at your face when you pull it hard.
Yeah.
There you go. Yay!
Hey. All right.
Yes, it is made with gunpowder. That's why you smell sulfur right now. It's a very small amount. It's like a finger snap amount. Anyway.
All right. Hold on. Can you see that?
Yeah.
They said Spider-Man's getting a new suit in issue 61 because something about going to fight Kingpin. So so they're building Fisk up to be something major in this,
Yeah.
Whatever he's
that's a weird suit. I don't know. I like Spider-Man in gray.
I don't know if it's going to be like, they did a spider armor in the 90s. It lasted one issue. So I don't know if it's going to be one of those things where it's going to last for one fight.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you don't mess too much with the classics. And yes, you can pop one more. Just keep it away from your face.
It's gonna last one fight, so they can sell variant covers and some toys.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm in my own fan theory. I mean, maybe it's it was Mephisto the whole time. Yeah. I don't see how Mephisto profits from this. That's my thing.
Yeah.
It's like, aside from maybe someone messing up Peter, that's cool. And that is cool. Don't get me wrong. I can see how that's an advantage to Mephisto. But I also think that, here's what I'm going to say. It's like, I actually think that there's an advantage to Marvel to make One More Day not be a real thing.
Well, yeah, I think the big things, I think, one, it was sloppy storytelling, but two, it's like, you really want like your flagship character, the one most recognized character in your company to, a couple years ago, he sold his soul to the devil, or he sold his marriage to the devil. Yeah.
And that's the thing, when Mephisto actually did make a deal with Miles, he did not actually ask for anything from Miles. When he goes, because he reverses time so that Ms. Marvel doesn't die, because the teen heroes are teen heroes and not very good at it and are punching way outside their weight class. To be fair, that's the thing. It's like that, for all the nonsense with Outlawed and Cradle, they are punching outside their weight class. They are dealing with stuff that is not what they need to be dealing with. And, when they're going around the world to solve problems, mistakes will happen. And you can say, well, is it better to have a superhero team on site to avoid mistakes happening? Or maybe, since you have a super fast Quinjet, maybe it would be better if you just sent paramedics. If there was I know there's actually a paramedic character in the new Marvel, or the Marvel video game that came out a while ago. There was a support class character. It's maybe that's a better use for all this Quinjet technology, rather than sending a bunch of costume teenagers to punch an earthquake. Maybe we should just send the aid.
Or if it isn't Mephisto, Miles Morales, Mephisto asked nothing of him.
Mm-hmm.
Who was an old friend, years and years, friends with the 616 older Miles Morales, Wilson Fisk.
There you go.
Maybe because it's a younger version of his old friend. If his Fisk is behind this, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. But what I will say because here's what I'll say. And that's sort of what you get when you get the deal that Mephisto makes with Peter about blotting out his marriage. But really, it's just about asking for help from a person who is who is there to do evil. Because essentially what Mephisto says to Miles, when Miles makes his One More Day, is he says, I can reverse time. All I ask is you don't tell anyone. You get to carry this, and that's just a burden you get to carry.
See, it was kind of a twist when he did it with Peter and Mary Jane, who's kind of like, you consciously, you won't remember making the deal. He's like, but your soul's going to be screaming for eternity over, giving up this true love and.
Yeah, and that is, because that is the kind of thing I can see Mephisto doing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's it's not selling your soul. Your soul goes where it's going in its own time.
Yeah.
Mephisto doesn't need your soul right now. But what he does need is he needs to get your soul to a place where it's where he can welcome you in.
I forget, did he ask Otto anything for changing him back?
Oh, no. What he asked of Otto was simply that, because he basically said, I'll put you back in your body just as you were.
Yes.
Because Otto wanted to say he would still be the hero, even without it. And the fact of the matter is, he still was the hero.
Oh yeah, because but I didn't Mephisto even say, yeah, you always said you were the way you were because of brain damage or something from the accident. And he's like, no, I'll put you back healthy, so we'll see how heroic you are.
And then he was heroic. That's the thing, and that is what Marconi said. It's like, no, you saved it. So no, I just didn't want the difficulties of it. But that was the thing, is that, Otto was always a decent enough person in his own way. He just has Doom-like hubris. Except, unlike Doom, he actually went to college. And
Doom went to college. Oh, I was thinking about this the other day. You always say Doom's like a college dropout. No, he's like that guy who can't decide what he wants to be, so he changes his major every semester.
Oh, well, yeah, but he still didn't graduate college. That's all I'm saying. He didn't graduate. He doesn't have a doctorate.
He couldn't decide what he wanted to be. Science, mysticism, robotics.
And granted, he's a polymath, and no mad respect for a polymath, but as Tony Stark once said, I'm technically a doctor too, but I don't call myself Dr. Iron Man. You guys just get off on calling yourselves doctors, But anyway, yeah, I really liked it. And speaking of Doctor Doom, let's talk Avengers.
Oh,
number 40. And this is one of those ones where they do they do it like placed out over time.
Yeah.
And
because they jump in the middle of a Captain America Doom fight. Yeah.
Jump into the middle of the Captain America, and basically we're doing what if we took like several characters and did a little quick secret wars with them? Because everyone has to fight, and then Doom, is like, oh, I see that Phoenix just likes Captain America, so he's just going to keep on rising and rising. So I will not play your game. I forfeit because I'm, it's like, no, you were going to lose. Because you don't have the spirit to keep on rising, Dr. Doom. Yes, you can eat a cone.
Because I can't. Yeah. Not even Secret Wars. What was that one? It was like a contest of champions or something.
Yeah, well, they do. Look.
I know they've done this a few times.
Philip, I don't know if you know this, but comic book nerds like to ask who would win in a fight a lot. I know, shocking, but that is a theme that goes through a lot of comic book storylines, and in this case, yes, we're going to get this little fight between all these different people who will be the Phoenix host. Although what I like about it is the fact that Captain America doesn't want to be the Phoenix.
Yeah.
He's like, I do not want to do that. But also, arguably, maybe he is the person who can fix the Phoenix. Although it strikes me, who actually should be the Phoenix? Galactus.
Oh.
Well, no, but the idea is that maybe if the Phoenix and Galactus would just kiss already, they could both become that one perfect being.
Yeah, there's so much in common. They both destroy planets.
Well, but that's the idea. Well, see, that's the thing. When you had the Life Giver, Galactus, that's what Galactus was supposed to be, according to their theory. So what if the idea is that Galactus gets awoken early, but that extra life energy has been split off from him, and that's what becomes the Phoenix? So what if the actual story is that Galactus and the Phoenix need to kiss already? Just kiss! And then it's like, no, now we can both be death and life. Sometimes we'll bring laughs, sometimes we'll bring death. Sometimes we'll bring death, then life, right after it, just to be crazy. Because we're two crazy natural-born killers roaming the universe.
I'm surprised you didn't call out your favorite character on this last page to be the Phoenix, Howard the Duck.
Wait, Howard the Duck is in that thing?
Last page, man. He's standing there right next to Hyperion.
Dear Lord, I missed that. So Phoenix just grabbed a bunch of people. Oh, Zabu's there. Oh, look.
Yeah, Shauna's there. Zabu, Moon Girl, and Double Dinosaur.
Oh, look, 616 Nighthawk.
Yeah.
Remember him, kids. He's not the cool Nighthawk, though. That would be.
Yeah, Jane Foster's up there.
Jane Foster's up there. Wait. Why does She-Hulk look normal? Is that supposed to be She-Hulk?
I think it's Jennifer Walters. Yeah, for some reason that's the Phoenix. Just,
crazy that the orb is there. The guy who has like, oh, I'm insane now. Yeah, we got Shang-Chi, Black Knight, Man-Thing's there. That's nice.
Echo.
Yeah, there's some interesting characters. That's Jane Foster Valkyrie. Okay.
Yeah.
Shauna the She-Devil.
Yeah, looks like Luke. Is that Luke Cage standing next to the Nighthawk?
Yeah, Luke Cage. Man, I didn't even. I should have paid more attention to this because the orb draws your eye.
Is that Red Wolf standing next to the orb?
No, I think that's American Eagle.
Okay.
No. We do get to Red Wolf because Red Wolf is in Werewolf by Night.
That's right.
Yes. Red Wolf doesn't wear gloves, generally speaking.
Okay.
He's not a superhero. He's a man out of time. He's Conan the Barbarian. I'm sorry. It's a really great way that they figured, hey, what if we did Conan the Barbarian in modern times, since we don't have Conan? And then they bought Conan. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, maybe we can find something to do with this guy because he is awesome. And he calls out the fact that I love the fact that Red Wolf, not only is he outside of time, he also understands, there was another dimension. And, it's like, this is where I was. Here's where I am. I'm not going to dwell on the deeper cosmological aspects of that because apparently, I grew up in a world where there were spirits and gods and things like that. And I'm still in a world with spirits and gods and things like that. I could sit here and complain about it, or I can move forward. And he sings the song, which is not a very good song, because they actually give you the lyrics to it later.
Uh-huh.
With the Song of the Wolf, where they basically give what the origin of this particular Red Wolf werewolf curse. We call out the fact that Red Wolf is connected to all the other werewolves, or all the other Red Wolves that have existed. And we actually get like glimpses of them there. And it's neat. I like what they're setting up here. And this idea that, they knew there was this lineageal werewolf here. Now, just out of curiosity, is Jack Russell, did he get bitten, or was he just became lineageal werewolf?
I'm not the most read up on him, but I thought it was a family curse.
Yeah, which again goes to not for nothing. It's entirely possible they could be cousins, So finding someone with the familial curse of werewolfism is not outside of the realm of reality. And apparently, this Clockwork Lady, I don't know if she's a villain that has existed before this over at the Life Pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
The fact that the Life Corporation or the Life Foundation or whatever it is, and Life Pharmaceuticals exist in the Marvel Universe, and one has to do with symbiotes and one does not. And now we're talking about our children. I don't know. I think we're going to get a Venom tie-in to this eventually, probably related to the King in Black. I think that's supposed to be that they've captured our hero and put him in the stasis chamber, just like Luke Skywalker at the start of Return of the Jedi, or at the start of Empire Strikes Back, because it's what you do.
Oh, good Lord! I'm reading the Wikipedia. Yeah, I mean they're saying back to like the late 1700s there was like reports of lycanthropy in the Russell family, but did it say that it's either Jack Russell's father or grandfather? Guess who he was pounding around with for a while?
Who?
The High Evolutionary.
There you go. Good old High Evolutionary.
The water. Come back to that High Evolutionary, man. Spider-Woman, Werewolf by Night.
Hey, speaking about obscure callbacks, did you read Shang-Chi?
Yes, I did.
Did you catch the name of the evil sorcerer who the British are using to conquer China during the Boxer Rebellion?
Oh, I forget. I read these real quick. What was
Baron Harkness.
Oh, yes, I did catch Harkness.
Yes. Which is weird because I guess, is it? Because we've seen Hot Agatha, because Hot Agatha is back now in spirit form. That's the great thing is you die and you get to come back as Hayden Christensen or Ewan McGregor. You don't have to come back as the old guy nowadays. But
takes a couple deaths. I was rereading on Marvel Unlimited those old Vision and Scarlet Witch miniseries, and Agatha's died a couple times.
Yeah, but when she comes back to that physical form.
Yeah.
But what we've gotten now is we've gotten Agatha Harkness in the 40s and the 30s when she was young, hot Agatha Harkness, and which really shouldn't have aged that much in 20 years unless that's, the magic taking its
price of Hey, all magic has a price, remember?
That is true. But yeah, right now, I love the scene with Shang-Chi's uncle.
With the food, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's the food. And also just the idea that, he is just... He reminds me of, what's his name? Quid Quay from Kung Fu Panda. It's like, I know what you want. I know what you want the universe to be, but that's not what it is. Because he wants to heal his scar and he wants to be rid of all of this craziness. He wants to live a normal life. It's like, that's not the world you live in, son. And that's the thing. It's like, even if you lived a normal life in the Marvel universe, you're living in a universe with gods and monsters and magicians and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like you were going to not be a part of this world, That's just the world, It's like, I want to live in a world without, billionaires. It's like, nope, that's the world we live in. That's our superpower. We had a nice bit of the origin of what do they call him now? Zhang Ju. Yeah, because it's Zhang Ju and Zhang Yi. And Zhang Yu wants to give his life force to his brother Yang Zi, who is the uncle. For those of you who don't remember, Zhang Ju sometimes goes by the pseudonym Fu Manchu until we lost the rights to that character.
Okay, well, copyright permitting.
Yes, copyright permitting. But it is this idea of the two brothers balancing each other, and Zhang Zhu realizing that without his brother to keep him in check, he would probably turn evil. Guess what happened? Yeah, we also get the idea that the dragon that brother Saber is fighting gives him a vision of the future when Master Hand, Shang-Chi, does ascend and become the leader, and then he becomes essentially, another person like Zhang Zhu out to conquer the world, becomes a supervillain. And we do see when he comes back, now he's got this little starlight on his head. Oh, wait, they all have starlights on their head. I guess that's supposed to be a flashlight? I don't know. Man. It looks, the way they drew it, it looks like it's like, because I don't think he had it in like the earlier scenes. Yeah, see, he doesn't like have a flashlight on his head in the earlier scenes. It's just in the later scenes. But then they all have flashlights on their heads. So I don't know what that's about. The artist is trying to tell us something. I don't know what. But yeah, I liked Shang-Chi. And apparently the next issue is the last issue. But then there's the new Legends of Shang-Chi coming out. So there will be another Shang-Chi book coming out soon.
Yeah, a lot of these books now, they'll do like, 5 or so. And then I guess if it's popular enough, they just do another run of it or whatever.
Yeah, I got 3 books I did not get the chance to read yet, which include Ginny Hicks, Vampire the Masquerade #5, because I keep missing every other issue of this book because I forgot to put it on my pull list. It's there now. And this one, which looks cool, Homesick Pilots from Image. And I haven't read that yet, but I will read that along with Vampire the Masquerade #5 and Ginny Hicks #1 from Wonder Comics. They're on I'm going to read these, but I did not get the chance to yet. But
and
I liked them in the store. They got me excited in the store. So.
And remember, I'd recommend to you Iron Man and Doctor Doom, King in Black.
Yes.
These two face a venomized Santa.
Venom's I know I ran out of time before I could read that one too. It's yeah, I mean, hey, we just did Christmas episodes.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, curses foiled again.
It's weird. This one just came out this week, so they put it out a couple days after Christmas.
Well, you know, COVID delays.
I was going to say, unless it was running late, yeah.
Yeah, because King in Black ran late. So it's like, yeah, that's it. King in Black, this was supposed to be a great Christmas issue. Probably would have dropped right in December when King in Black first came out. But otherwise, it would have been like, oh, this is going to give out too much if we don't drop King in Black first. We're not dropping King in Black until the end of December. So, I
mean, it was only off by a week. I mean, if they had dropped this on the 23rd, that would have been the best, 2 days before Christmas. That would have been the greatest.
It would have worked, but, I'm not in charge of logistics at Marvel Comics, Phil.
I know.
So,
Oh, and if anyone who enjoyed 90s Ghost Rider Return to Vengeance one-shot came out this week, pick that up.
90s Ghost Rider, so we're talking Danny Ketch.
Well, actually, it's actually the character Vengeance, Michael Battolino. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And written by Howard Mackey, who wrote the Ghost Rider book in the 90s, so.
Yeah. And, for what it's worth, that idea of vengeance as an esoteric concept, which, by the way, I'm still saying the big reveal in the current Fantastic Four arc is going to be that the Mourner is not an esoteric concept. She is just an Elder of the Universe. She wants everyone to think she's an esoteric concept. She's putting on airs.
But this one, literally, Vengeance trying to escape hell.
Well, good. Well, I don't know. I think hell needs vengeance. That's the whole point of hell is vengeful,
Yep. Oh, yeah. And there's a big thing with the Lilith from the 90s. I always giggle when I read the Ghost Rider and they keep mentioning Lilith, like Mother of Demons. It's like, oh.
Yes, I know. Everyone, it's Lilith, you picked the name. That's what I'm saying.
That's your fake name.
You could have been Susan Hellfire, but no, you decided to be Lilith Hellfire. And so you pick the name, you got to live with it.
I think so. Yeah.
And to be fair, Tristan feels your pain with his name Toxin Gamer. Love you too. Hey, we've already established we're allowed to talk your name in the time. Oh, and I don't know. He goes back and forth on what he wants to be known.
WH man, Toxin Gamer who lives in your apartment with you and your family.
Yes, Toxin Gamer 13. Which I know it's okay, buddy. Yeah, I know you don't like the name. I'm sure Lilith is regretting the name sometimes too.
I just saw a chair this week when I was on social media, and your oldest is in high school already.
Yeah, he's a freshman.
Wow, time flies.
Yeah, he is. He is a freshman, and algebra.
I know.
Fractions. That's the I don't like fractions. We have a base 10 system. We do not need fractions. And then my nephew, just to be contrarian, says, well, actually, fractions are actually more precise. Like, no, they're not. Not if you can't do the math. It's not more precise if you can't do the math. If the math is harder, do it as a decimal. Because it needs to be close enough to get that rocket to the moon. I'm not here to talk about your esoteric quandaries. Pure math is the realm of madness. And I stand by that.
Madness.
I'm becoming pure math. Anyway, Philip, anything else you want to talk about this week?
No, I'm good.
Hey, you know what? In a mere 14 days, we're getting WandaVision.
Yes, that's right. And I think we're going to do a special Capes of Lunatics episode on the history of the characters.
Oh, that sounds like fun. I love Wanda and Vision.
I was going to say, I've been reading up, doing my homework, so.
I'm sad they don't kiss anymore.
What, in the comics?
Yeah, they don't kiss anymore.
Oh yeah, I mean they're not married. They're not even together, are they? In the comics?
No, they're not. And she's off with Wonder Man, and
Well, art always imitates the popular media, so maybe they'll get back together once WandaVision drops.
now kiss. I do not claim now kiss is my catchphrase, but I love the fact that it exists. Just playing with my action figures and not dolls. All right, Philip. Hey, Philip, did you hear me okay tonight?
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, I really think that, if people are having trouble hearing the podcast, it may actually be your audio equipment. If you go over to tweakedaudio.com, you can get yourself some high-quality audio headsets at a fraction of the retail cost by simply entering in the coupon code Southgate. Then you can take the coupon code Southgate and use it again over at huntingkiller.com, where you can help Michelle Gray solve a cold case. It's like getting an escape room delivered to your house. It's pretty awesome. Likewise, if none of that interests you, go down into our show notes, click on the Amazon link, go to Amazon through us. Costs you nothing, helps us out, because we said, hey, go to Amazon and buy stuff. And they're like, oh, okay, I'll go to Amazon and buy stuff. And now I bought stuff, which I was going to do anyway, but now it helps out the show, because we reminded you that you have money you need to spend over at Amazon through our show notes. Do that. And while you're there, why don't you check out Pod Life, the book written by the Southgate Media Group crew, about podcasting, and it's available both in hard copy, if you like that tangible media, and digital, if you're like, no, man, I got no time to hold a piece of paper. That's available to you. And if anyone does all that, Philip, and they'd like to talk to us about that, or talk about us about anything, comic book or pop culture related, how can they find you? How can they find us?
I was going to say, if you want to get a hold of any of us, email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. I'll forward it to the appropriate party. And find links to all of our stuff at Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics. And if you're interested in WandaVision we were talking about, check out upcoming episodes of Full Stream Ahead on Capes and Lunatics podcast or Enough Said podcast.
Yes, over
Nestor and Maz Manzoor
doing the double duty just to make everybody happy and to do less work, technically, but that's okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. If you would like to write to me directly, I have to do my social medias. If you'd like to write to me in the old-fashioned email way their mothers and fathers once did, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet DuckTales, woohoo, Monday nights at 7 when it is coming back. I think we're getting new episodes maybe on Monday the 4th at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle. 4. Thank you, Mazen. Thank you, Toxin Gamer 13. All right. Thank you for connecting with us, ladies and gentlemen. Please super connect with us again. And as always, have a happy New Year. It's the visual gag there.
No.
I don't know if that even shows up, but anyway. That was fun, Philip, as always.
Thank you, sir. A great first episode of Super Connectivity for 2021.
Yes, the Twilight Zone marathon is on. They're doing the Midnight Sun episode. That's a good one.